Hello again. This morning, the Law Society, the professional body for solicitors, published the preliminary results of an inquiry by Exeter University into why black people are finding it very hard to pass the examinations needed to qualify as solicitors. In a description to this video, I give a link to this piece of research. I also give a link to the lamentable results which black people managed to achieve in the last lot of examinations. This morning's article tells us that complex factors are causing this ethnicity gap, which is nonsense. According to Exeter University, one of the reasons is that black people spend so much time challenging stigma and stereotypes that they don't have enough energy left to study law properly. It seems that, and I quote, because of their belief in how they might succeed in an elitist profession and their experience being part of a minority group, they are so busy developing coping strategies that they're unable to remember the various bits of case law and legal principles which they will need if they wish to become solicitors. In short, racism is to blame for the lack of black solicitors. I give a link to the figures which triggered this inquiry by Exeter University. In November 2021, the first part of the new solicitors qualifying examination were taken. The pass rates were 66% of white candidates and just 39% of black candidates. For the second part of the examination, the discrepancy between black and white candidates passing was even more stark, with 82% of white candidates passing and just 43% of black ones. In other words, almost twice as many white people passed as black ones. There are, of course, a number of possible explanations, including simply a difference in raw intelligence between the two ethnic groups, but in this case we don't need to assume that. There is a much simpler explanation, and it lies in the fact that the Law Society, which regulates solicitors, is very anxious to do something about the fact that there are so few black solicitors. Cosmetic changes have been undertaken. For example, the president of the Law Society currently is Lubna Suja, an Asian Muslim woman, which looks great in photographs, but there is still that lack of black people. What has happened is very simple. Loads of black people have been encouraged to apply to train as solicitors and to study law at university. They've been given all kinds of help and what was known as contextual offers, which means that they can get in with lower qualifications than white people and so on. However, they're simply not up to the job. It is easy enough to allow certain people into university by relaxing the requirements, and even to give them internships and so on to get them in place in offices. This all looks great on paper, and if it were not for those pesky examinations which measure objectively what people know and how good they are at thinking, it would be possible to pretend that those students and trainees who have been given an easier ride than white people really were capable of becoming solicitors. They are not, as the examination results show. The solution is very simple, and it is to ensure that the same rigorous requirements are applied to everybody when it comes to offering university places in law and also jobs in the offices of solicitors, that these are regardless of colour of skin. That way, those sitting the examinations will all be of similar ability and there will be no ethnic achievement gap. It may be the case that there will still not be as many black solicitors as some people desire, but we will then know that those who are trying to become solicitors are able to cope with the career. I find it little short of incredible and deeply shocking that in the third decade of the 21st century, it's necessary to suggest that we have colour-blind selection and that everybody is treated the same regardless of the colour of their skin. I realise that in the modern world this is a very radical suggestion, but it was one that we fought for very strongly 50 years ago, and apparently it's still necessary.